Best systems to amplify: vision anchoring, creativity and innovation, work and career mode. B. Low energy season maintenance mode. You're tired, distracted, physically or emotionally drained. This is where you simplify. Fall back on your keystone system. Default to 1-2 core rituals. Best systems to maintain: energy and health, focus time block, inner audit, plus journaling mantra for this season. When I can't move forward fast, I make sure I don't drift backward. C. Transitional season rebuilding mode. Maybe you just changed cities, ended a relationship, lost a job, or had a baby. Systems now serve stability, not growth. Approach: protect the non-negotiables: sleep, solitude. 1 system review per week. Don't over-install. Your system, a small rock in moving water. Best systems to ground you: emotional calibration, financial autonomy, inner circle curation. When life shifts, your system should flex, not fracture. That's strategic maturity. 3. Profession-based personalization. Your niche matters. Each field requires a different dominant system to thrive. Let's go through a few. A. Creatives, artists, writers, designers, primary systems, creativity and innovation, emotional calibration, environment design, tweak, build high-sensory workspaces, use idea banks and 10-day prototype sprints, protect solitude with reverence. B. Entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. Primary systems: resource optimization, vision anchoring, risk calibration. Tweak: weekly cash flow reviews, asymmetric risk audits monthly. Keep a founder journal for mental resilience. C. Analysts, engineers, technical thinkers, primary systems, decision optimization, learning engine, career mode. Tweak: use data-heavy journaling, build decision logs, gamify skill acquisition. D. Coaches, mentors, teachers, primary systems, inner circle, identity integration, belief refinement. Tweak: use narrative journaling, practice mirroring your own teaching inward, revisit your values quarterly. Your profession is your arena. Your systems are your armor. Design accordingly. 4. Microsystem design. Make it 2 minutes long. Sometimes all you need is a microsystem that fits in a breath. Examples: energy check before a call. Am I depleted or present if depleted? Breathe deeply for 60 seconds. Drink water. Reset. Risk: check when offered a new opportunity. Ask, is this aligned or is this escape? Focus trigger: set a timer for 33 minutes. Remove all distractions. Play 1 song on loop. Reward yourself with 7-minute break. These tiny loops compound faster than long strategies because they're doable when you're busy, distracted, or overwhelmed. And that's where systems win, not in the abstract, but in the middle of the mess. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This chapter was the say to yourself part, the part where you stop installing systems that don't feel like you. From here forward, you don't just follow strategy. You shape it to fit your fingerprint. In Part 8, we'll begin linking systems into chains, powerful combinations that, when activated together, become unstoppable forces of momentum. Think 1 + 1 = 10. This is where the compound effect goes nuclear. Part 8. We've now entered the interconnected phase of mastery. Up until now, we've looked at the 13 systems as separate, distinct gears. But no great strategist stops at separation. True leverage begins when you chain the systems together, because when one system supports another, when they compound, overlap, and reinforce each other, that's when momentum becomes inevitable. Think of it like this. A single domino is small, but if each one is positioned correctly, each falling domino knocks over the next, and the first domino, barely 2 inches tall, can eventually knock over one the size of a building. That's what we're doing here, setting the dominoes. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That's not just philosophical, that's mechanical. What seems like a challenge in one system can become fuel in another if they're chained. Let's build your chains. 1. The keystone chain energy. Focus, vision. This is the core engine. If this chain is weak, everything downstream falls apart. Energy fuels focus. Focus directs vision. Vision returns purpose to energy. Let's walk it in real time. You sleep 7 hours energy system. You begin the morning with 2 hours of deep work focus system. That block is anchored in a project that points to your 5-year outcome vision system. Suddenly, you're not just being productive, you're being strategic. This is how you start stacking. What breaks the chain? Energy leak. Too little sleep or overcommitment. Focus leak. No intentional deep time. Vision leak. Foggy goals or lack of personal direction. Fixing it, start upstream. Always. Restore energy first. Then defend your time. Then re-anchor to why it all matters. 2. The creativity chain. Curiosity constraints. Rapid testing. This chain is the idea factory for artists, founders, problem solvers, content creators. Creativity isn't random, it's an ecosystem. Let's map it. You explore something strange or outside your field. Curiosity meta-learning. You give yourself a 48-hour challenge, write, build. Sketch, code with limits, constraints. You share it, test it, review the feedback. Rapid testing via learning system. Why this works. Creativity thrives when it has a playground, not a blank page. How to activate it. Set a recurring block weekly called creative loop. Example, Tuesday. Consume weirdness. Wednesday. Build something ugly. Thursday. Extract the insight. This chain is not about perfection. It's about velocity of insight. Stoic application. Marcus Aurelius treated adversity as training. Likewise, treat failed ideas as fertilizer for the next insight. 3. The financial growth chain, resource optimization, risk calibration, career moat. Most people try to make more money by grinding harder. Winners build leverage chains. This chain is all about turning limited resources into exponential returns. Here's how it flows. You identify your underused assets, resource optimization. You place small bets with limited downside risk calibration. You develop rare skills and proof of work. Career moat. Example. You realize your writing skills are solid asset. You test a 5-email freelancing offer on a small niche market. It works. Now you create a portfolio. Soon, you're a known voice in that micro field. Not because of a massive investment, but because of sequenced leverage. Tip: every 90 days, write down 3 resources I'm underusing, 1 low-risk test I can run, 1 skill I can deepen that the market values. You do that every quarter. Financial autonomy becomes predictable. 4. The resilience chain. Emotional calibration. Identity integration. Decision optimization. This is your internal defense system. The I can handle anything stack. Let's say you're triggered. Someone criticizes you. A plan collapses. Self-doubt creeps in. Most people react. But if your systems are chained, you pause and name the feeling emotional calibration. You remind yourself of who you are and who you're becoming. Identity integration. You delay and use your 5-question checklist. Decision optimization. Now you're not just reacting, you're redirecting. You're turning volatility into wisdom. Why this chain matters. Life will test you. Your strategy is only as strong as your emotional agility. And the Stoics knew this better than anyone. They practiced premeditatio malorum, imagining worst-case scenarios not to worry, but to rehearse resilience. This chain is your modern version of that practice. 5. The influence chain. Inner circle, relationship ecosystem. Meaning compass. Success without meaning is misery in disguise. This chain keeps you human, grounded, alive. Here's how it works. You audit who you let into your inner circle. You create mutual wins through introductions, shared projects, value-first thinking relationship ecosystem. You reflect monthly on why you're doing this at all. Meaning compass. When this chain is alive, your success isn't lonely. Your systems feed into something beyond you. Example: you help a friend land a job. That friend connects you to an opportunity. You invest together in something meaningful. It echoes. It multiplies. What breaks the chain? Allowing toxic people into your energy field. Withholding value. Forgetting your purpose. Fix, curate, contribute, connect. Seneca reminded us: associate with people who are likely to improve you, and by doing that you improve others too. How to build your custom chains. Now it's your turn. Here's a step-by-step one. Pick one system that's already strong. Maybe your focus system is dialed in. 2. Ask what system naturally connects to this. If it's focus, maybe energy is the upstream, or vision is downstream. 3. Link them into a routine. Name it. Example: morning flow chain, sleep, cold shower, 2 hours deep work, journal 1. Paragraph. 4. Stack another system only when the first 2 feel automatic. 5. Review your chains every 30 days. What's flowing? What's skipping? What needs relinking? Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." But mastery isn't about domination. It's about coordination. It's about turning your life into an orchestra where each system plays its part. In time, in tune. You don't need to build everything from scratch. You need to link what you already know. That's what the world's winners do. They design leverage. They chain systems. They create loops that pull them forward even on hard days. In Part 9, we'll step into time travel mode. I'll show you how to project these chains 5, 10, 25 years into the future, and how to backcast every system so that tomorrow begins serving that future. We'll start designing the invisible architecture of legacy. You win, say the word. Part 9. You're here, still building, still refining, still choosing the harder path, the slower, deeper one. So far, we've constructed the 13 core systems. We've practiced applying them under pressure. We've personalized them to your personality, your rhythm, your season of life. And last time we learned how to chain them together to create momentum that feeds itself. Now, we stretch time, not metaphorically, strategically, because all winning systems eventually hit the same fork in the road. What am I actually building? Long-term, without a distant anchor. Even the best habits become mechanical. Even the most beautiful systems can become noise. This is where we shift from maintenance to legacy design. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly." That's not morbid. That's focus. That's clarity. So now we ask, if your life were a map, where is it taking you, and are your systems pointing to that place, or just making you busy in circles? 1. The art of strategic backcasting. Start from the end. We begin with one tool, and it's not visualization. It's backcasting. Here's how it works. Instead of asking, "What should I do this year?" ask, "What does my ideal life look like in 25 years? Then work backward. Seneca wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it." Backcasting forces you to use it on purpose. Try this exercise right now. Step 1. Set your future anchor, year 2050. You are wiser, slower, stronger, and more distilled. Ask, where are you living? Who's around you? What legacy have you left in people's minds? What are you still learning, still teaching, still contributing? Step 2. Write the scene. 1 paragraph. Present tense. No filters. Example. It's a quiet morning on the coast. I write at a small wooden desk. My children are grown, their lives full of meaning. I've built a platform that helped 100,000 people reclaim their time and freedom. My work is evergreen. My mind is clear. My systems still run. Step 3. Ask the most stoic question of all. If I were already that person, what would I be doing differently this week? That's how you backcast. You don't chase the future. You install it into today. 2. Designing the 25-year stack, one system at a time. Now, let's walk through what each of the 13 systems looks like when stretched over 25 years. Because winners don't just think in weeks or quarters. They ask, what does this system look like when it matures? Let's explore. A. Vision, anchoring, long game focus. In 25 years, you're no longer just chasing a goal. You're living inside a life you architected. How to activate. Revisit your press release from the future every 90 days. Create a timeline of 5-year epochs: personal growth, career seasons, relationships, creations. This system ensures continuity so that today doesn't contradict your tomorrow. B. Health and energy, longevity over intensity. In 25 years, you don't want six-pack abs. You want capacity to travel, to think clearly, to walk without pain. How to activate. Shift from performance metrics to biometrics, HRV, sleep scores, inflammation markers. Develop rituals for daily recovery, not just exertion. Honor rest like it's strategic fuel because it is. C. Career and work strategy, legacy, not just income. In 25 years, you're not hustling. You're mentoring, curating, investing. Your name is a brand of wisdom, not just results. How to activate. Build intellectual property now. Frameworks, books, talks. Train successors or apprentices. Be so good they can't ignore you, then make yourself redundant. D. Financial autonomy, freedom through flow. In 25 years, money doesn't stress you. It serves you. You've built engines, systems, multipliers. How to activate. Shift mindset from save and spend to plant and harvest. Invest in skills that earn while you sleep. Create long-term compounding business equity. Royalties, digital assets. E. Relationship ecosystem, depth over width. In 25 years, you've surrounded yourself with thinkers, builders, truth tellers, and healers, and you've cut everything else. How to activate? Choose 5 people worth growing with. Build traditions, not transactions. Contribute more than you consume quietly. Consistently. F. Identity integration. No more masks. In 25 years, you are what you practice, and your inner voice matches your outer rhythm. How to activate? Journal as a mirror, not just a to-do list. Use weekly prompts like, what identity am I outgrowing? Practice radical honesty with yourself first. G. Decision optimization principles before pressure. In 25 years, you don't rush. You don't doubt. You decide with elegance. How to activate? Develop your own decision operating system. Maintain a personal principle. Bank your own version of Ray Dalio's playbook. Build in delay loops 24 hours before high emotion moves. 3 filters before saying yes. H. Emotional calibration. Stoic. Calm in a noisy world. In 25 years, nothing rattles you. Not because you're numb, but because you're trained. How to activate? Build an emotional vocabulary. Practice feeling without feeding. Turn discomfort into signal, not identity. And here's the truth, if you build these long enough, they stop being systems. They become your default operating code. 3. The legacy mirror. Asking the hardest question. Seneca said, while we wait for life, life passes. So ask, if I disappeared tomorrow, what systems would live on without me? What rhythms, what words, what lessons, what values would echo in my absence? Legacy isn't made from speeches. It's made from systems others can inherit. Your kids, your friends, your mentees, even your future self. So here's your mission for this chapter. 1. Pick 3 systems, any 3. 2. Ask, how can I build these in a way that someone else could benefit from them without me having to explain it? That's legacy. Build it once. Let it echo forever. You now know how to stretch systems across decades to reverse engineer a life so clear, so rooted, so designed that even the worst case scenario can't uproot it. This is what most people will never do. They'll optimize a week. They'll sprint toward a 6-month goal. But they'll forget to design a future worth waking up in. You won't forget, because now you've seen it. And in Part 10, the final chapter, we pull it all together. The 13 systems, the chains, the compass, the rituals, the legacy. I'll walk you through how to live this, not just know it, to let it reshape your nervous system, your days, your decisions. Part 10. This is it, the integration phase, where everything you've learned gets layered into how you live. No more theory, no more waiting for the perfect season. This is where systems become second nature. This is where your life quietly, strategically transforms. Let's walk it together. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter." So here's the question. How do you live the right things, daily, weekly, seasonally, without needing motivation, praise, or perfection? You systematize your philosophy. You make your values repeatable. And you do the work in silence. 1. The daily living loop. Invisible wins. You don't need 4-hour rituals. You don't need a perfect morning routine with Himalayan salt, sunrise yoga, and 5 gratitude lists. You just need 3 invisible wins, repeated every day. Here's how the top 1% live on strategy, not chance. A. Win 1. Anchor the morning before you touch your phone, before the world gets in. Do one thing, return to the compass. Reread your 5-year press release. Whisper your identity sentence. I am the kind of person who sighs, mod so. Ask one Stoic question. What is in my control today? This is your calibration. 5 minutes. That's it. Why it works. It interrupts reactivity. And the first thought of your day becomes design, not distraction. B. Win 2. Protect the deep work block. Choose a 90-minute window each day. No messages, no noise, no fragmentation, and do something that matters. Something legacy-facing, identity-confirming. Something only you can do. If you're tired, just show up. If you're anxious, just sit down. The power isn't in the performance, it's in the return. C. Win 3. Close with awareness. Before bed, don't scroll. Ask 3 questions. What system did I live today? What moment felt most me? What belief do I need to let go of before tomorrow starts? Don't write paragraphs. 1 sentence is enough. This closes your loop. It teaches your brain we are architects, not passengers. 2. The weekly operating review. The Stoic CEO meeting. You are the CEO of your life. You're also the head of HR, finance, strategy, and soul. Once a week, sit down, just you. No noise. Ask 7 questions. 1. Which of my 13 systems got stronger this week? 2. Which one did I ignore, avoid, or forget? 3. What distracted me and what was I really avoiding? Where did I surprise myself with growth? Who did I serve without being asked? What small decision changed my direction? 7. What truth do I need to confront, quietly and alone? Don't make it dramatic. Make it consistent. Put it on Sunday. Light a candle. Play lo-fi. Make it sacred. This meeting isn't about productivity. It's about staying awake. 3. The quarterly reset. The seasonal inventory. Every 90 days, the world shifts. So should you. Set aside 2 hours. Unplug. Print your 13 systems list. Rate each one 1 to 10. Ask, what's my new keystone system for this season? What old strategy do I need to bury now? What system needs a full reboot? Then build your 90-day operating rhythm. Choose 1 system to master. Choose 2 chains to maintain. Choose 1 thing to subtract. Simplicity is your edge. Remember, most people set 10 goals. The wise design 1 system, and that system changes everything. 4. The annual review. Write the new map once a year, around your birthday or the new year or some moment that feels right. Step all the way back, not to track accomplishments, to track alignment. Ask, who was I pretending to be this year? What identity did I grow into? Even quietly, what system became unconscious competence? What did I carry that wasn't mine to carry anymore? Then rewrite the map. Revisit your 25-year vision. Update the scenery. Plot the next 3 milestones. This is your North Star maintenance, and no one else can do it for you. 5. Install your system of systems. Let's make this concrete. You now have a structure for living strategically. Here's what it looks like in practice. Daily 5-minute morning compass 90-minute focus block 3-question evening reflection. Weekly Sunday strategy pulse. Rate 13 systems even if just in your head. Monthly 30-minute alignment check 1 keystone system update. Quarterly 90-day reset choose keystone, chains, and 1 subtraction. Annually legacy check vision map belief audit. That's it. Not complicated, not intense, but alive, flexible, and unshakably yours. This is how winners live quietly legendary lives. Not through viral wins, but through silent structure. Final word in this chapter, Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. You now hold the entire map, every system, every rhythm, every question that matters. This isn't about discipline anymore. It's about identity." The Stoics didn't build perfect lives. They built resilient ones, wise ones, repeatable ones. Now, so will you. In Part 11, we'll shift into integration through relationships and leadership, how to bring these systems to others without preaching or forcing. We'll explore how winners elevate others by living well, not by trying to fix them. This is how movements begin. Part 11. You've built the systems. You've anchored your daily, weekly, and long-term rhythms. But now, something shifts, because the most powerful system of all is the one you live so clearly, it changes others without you needing to say a word. This is where philosophy meets presence, where strategy meets leadership, where your systems stop being just yours and become invitations to everyone around you. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." But there's another kind of freedom to live with such internal order that others feel safer, calmer, and more themselves just by being near you. That's where we go now. 1. Quiet leadership. The system, you don't speak, but show real influence, doesn't come from advice. It comes from embodiment. Most people try to change others by pointing fingers. You should meditate. You should eat better. You should start journaling. But winners don't instruct, they demonstrate. They master themselves. And that mastery creates gravitational pull. It whispers, if this is possible for them, maybe it's possible for me too. So the rule is simple. Live your system so cleanly that it becomes its own form of communication. You don't need to call it Stoicism. You don't need to label it. You just need to be it. 2. Calibrating the room. How systems influence atmosphere. Have you noticed some people walk into a room and elevate it? They bring presence, grounding, order. That's not a coincidence. That's a lived system at work. Here's how your systems silently affect every space you enter. A. Energy system. Emotional regulation in chaos. You walk in rested, centered, calm. People feel it before they hear it. You don't match the frantic pace. You slow the tempo down without saying a word. B. Focus system. Clarity in a foggy room. When others spiral into drama, you cut straight to what matters. You ask better questions. You listen deeply. You model centered urgency, not scattered reactivity. C. Identity integration, consistency, over time. You don't shift based on who's watching. Your values show up at lunch, in crisis, in private, in the inbox. That consistency becomes a mirror for others. This is what Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." You calibrate the room not by dominance, but by stability. 3. Teaching systems without preaching. Now you may be wondering, how do I share this with people I care about without being preachy or pushy? Simple. You plant. Don't push. Here are 3 ways to do it. 1. Invite them into your process. Say, I started doing this weekly review. It's really cleared my head. Want to try it with me one Sunday? I've been journaling 1 line before bed. Want me to text you the prompt I used tonight? No pressure, just presence. 2. Model public reflection example. Share once a month on your social media or in a small circle. Here's the system I'm working on this month. This week, I realized I was avoiding tough decisions by staying busy. Here's how I caught it. Keep it real, keep it brief, keep it human. 3. Ask better questions. Instead of giving advice, ask things like, what's something you keep doing that drains you? If you could design next week from scratch, what would you change? Is there one thing that would make your life 10% easier if done consistently? Questions are strategy disguised as curiosity, and they open doors without ego. 4. Systems as culture at work, home, and in teams. Now let's go one layer wider. Your systems can reshape culture in business, family, community when you move from solo architect to silent engineer. Here's how. At work. Start meetings with what's the most leveraged system we can improve. Build a shared failure log as part of team creativity loops. Reward system upgrades, not just heroic hustle. At home. Create a Sunday reflection dinner. What did we each learn this week? Make deep rest a shared value, quiet mornings. Digital sunsets. Model emotional calibration. Name your own feelings before expecting anyone else to. In friendships. Don't gossip, ever. Share books, rituals, and practices, not just memes. Be the person who says, what would the future version of you do here? You don't need to lead a movement. You just need to live one. 5. What if they don't get it? This will happen. You'll share something powerful, and they'll shrug. You'll grow and feel others pulling you back. You'll live aligned and they'll call it too serious. That's okay. It's expected. The Stoics were ridiculed in their own time, but they didn't break because they weren't performing. They were practicing. So if they don't understand, keep practicing, not to convince them, to stay loyal to you. Epictetus reminds us, if someone speaks badly of you, and it's true, correct yourself. If it's false, don't be bothered. There's no need to argue strategy with someone still addicted to chaos. Just build, quietly, and trust me, they'll come around. Maybe not now, maybe not in 5 years, but someday, they'll look up and see your peace, your clarity, your results, and they'll whisper, what are you doing differently? That's when you open the door. Final thought for this chapter. You are no longer just a practitioner. You are a systemic leader. You don't need a title. You don't need a podium. You just need alignment between who you are and how you live. Because when your systems serve your soul, they begin serving others too, without you even trying. In Part 12, we'll explore the future-proofing mindset, how to adapt your systems in an uncertain world, information overwhelm, identity shifts, and the next decades of rapid change. Because mastery isn't static, it evolves. Part 12. Welcome to Part 12. This is where we build not just strength but adaptability. Not just order, but resilience inside uncertainty. You've mastered the 13 systems. You've linked them, lived them, and started sharing them through quiet presence. But now, what happens when the world changes faster than your plans? When your strategy feels outdated? When the tools evolve? When society pivots, careers shift, identities fracture, and the systems you built don't fit the season you're walking into. This chapter is your future-proofing protocol. It's the Stoic way to meet change not with fear, but with fluidity. Seneca said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult. We dare now. Let's go." 1. The principle of eternal systems and temporary tactics. The world changes, but your foundations don't have to. Let's separate what's eternal from what's ephemeral. Eternal. The principles. Clear thinking, calm attention, long-term focus, emotional regulation, intentional decision-making, health as leverage, contribution over applause. These are philosophical systems. They don't expire. They evolve with you. Ephemeral. The tactics. This year's productivity app. Social media trends. The latest AI tools. Noise disguised as optimization. You can update tactics without breaking your system. So the future-proofed mindset says, "My structure is stable. My tools are flexible." You don't throw away the system. You refit it. 2. Navigating information overload. We live in an age where more data exists in one day than existed in all of human history for thousands of years. And it's not slowing down. So how do you keep thinking clearly in a world designed to fry your nervous system? Use the signal and noise system. Every week, ask what inputs are shaping my thinking right now. What percent is entertainment versus education versus elevation? Who am I allowing to program my mental operating system? Now use the 3 filters rule 1. Is this true? Do I have evidence? Or just opinion? 2. Is this useful? Does it connect to my systems or goals? 3. Is this aligned? Does it reflect who I'm trying to become or who I'm trying to impress? If it fails 2 of those 3, cut it. Unfollow. Unsubscribe. Uninstall. Modern Stoicism. Mental sanitation. Protect the gates of your mind as fiercely as your calendar. 3. Integrating AI and tech without losing your humanity. We're not going to pretend AI isn't changing everything. It is. Jobs, art, writing, thinking, relationships. But here's what the Stoic strategist knows. Tools amplify identity. If you are grounded, AI becomes leverage. If you are chaotic, AI becomes distraction. So before asking, "How can I use this new tool?" ask, "What system is this tool helping me strengthen? What am I trying to automate my output or my thinking? Will this speed clarity or just add complexity?" Use tech to reinforce your values, not to run from them. Example, AI journal summaries. Great if you still do the thinking. AI design tools. Amazing if they support your creative rituals. AI writing prompts. Useful if you don't outsource your voice. Let the machine scale your strategy, but don't let it replace your stillness. 4. Adapting to life transitions with systemic grace. You'll change. Your relationships will evolve. Your location, goals, health, career will all shift. This is not failure, this is movement. But here's where most people collapse. They treat every transition like an identity crisis. But winners, they treat every transition like a system recalibration. Here's how. 1. Acknowledge the new reality. Don't fight it. Don't mourn it. Write it down in a single sentence. I am now in a season of hava. That sentence is your anchor. 2. Re-rate your 13 systems. Which ones became irrelevant? Which ones need to be softened? Which ones now matter more than ever? 3. Choose your new keystone. In grief, it may be energy. In new parenthood, it may be focus. In burnout, it may be emotional calibration. Choose one. Let everything else serve it. Transitions become chaotic only when we try to keep all systems running at old intensity. Future-proofing means choosing which systems to power down, so that one system can carry the weight. 5. Thinking in epochs, living a designed life over decades, finally. Zoom all the way out. The average life has 9 to 12 major epochs, chapters, whole new versions of you, and every system you've built will be tested, evolved, replaced, or reborn. But if you've built it right, the philosophy underneath stays the same. So think in decades, not days. What system are you building to last past this job? What habits still matter when the world pivots again? What rhythm will still ground you when your plans shatter? That's the Stoic game. Not to predict the future, but to stay unshakable inside it. Marcus Aurelius ruled through plague, famine, war, betrayal. And still he wrote with clarity, led with discipline, lived with alignment. Not because the world was calm, but because his system was steady. You now have that same option, to adapt without drifting, to change without dissolving, to evolve without erasing yourself. That's what these 13 systems are. A framework not just for performance, but for permanence in motion. In Part 13, the final chapter, we'll slow everything down. We'll walk one last time through what matters most. We'll close with a final meditation on what it means to live a life of inner order in a disordered world. It won't be strategy, it will be soul. Part 13. We've arrived. This is the final chapter. Not the end of the road, but the soft landing before the next climb. You've walked through every system. You've examined the architecture of winners. You've reflected, rewired, and rebuilt. But here, we rest. Not in passivity, but in presence. Because at the core of all strategy, all high-performance thinking, legacy design, and disciplined living is something quiet, something ancient, something still. The Stoics called it ataraxia, a lucid tranquility, a mind untangled, a life undistracted, a soul that doesn't chase because it knows. So before you move on, pause here with me. Let's remember what truly matters. 1. You are the architect. Your life is not random. It is not a collection of tasks, schedules, or outcomes. It is a designed structure, and you are the builder. You've seen the systems, clarity over chaos, vision over drifting, presence over panic, rhythm over reaction. You've practiced the rituals, morning intention, deep work, silent reflection, quarterly recalibration. You've remembered the truths. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. You can't control outcomes, but you can shape inputs. Energy is a currency. Time is a mirror. Focus is a weapon. Strategy is not cold, it's sacred. And now you hold the blueprint. But the blueprint means nothing until it is lived. 2. Philosophy without practice is just poetry. Seneca didn't write so he could be quoted. Marcus Aurelius didn't journal to be studied. Epictetus didn't lecture to trend on Instagram. They practiced because they were human. They feared slipping, drifting, decaying just like you. They turned their minds into temples not to impress, but to endure. So ask yourself gently, where am I still performing strategy instead of living it? What truth have I heard in these past chapters that I haven't yet embodied? What would it look like to make my whole life a system of values in motion? Because that's what Stoicism really is. Not a posture, not an aesthetic, but the choice to live deliberately. And that choice is yours every morning. 3. The world will try to pull you back. Let's not pretend otherwise. You will be tempted again to chase, to scroll, to compare, to forget. You'll feel behind. You'll feel broken. You'll feel, at times, like none of this matters. But when that moment comes, don't panic. Just return. Return to one breath, one question, one page in your journal, one walk in silence. Return to your system. Return to your center. That's the whole game. Not perfection, but the ability to come back. Faster, gentler, deeper. 4. You are not just a player. You are the designer. Life is not something that happens to you. It's something you're always co-creating. Every time you say no to distraction, every time you recalibrate your energy, every time you choose clarity over chaos, you are not just winning a moment. You are becoming a new version of yourself. And the systems, they are not constraints. They are your path to freedom. They protect your focus. They honor your energy. They translate your values into daily rhythm. So don't fear them. Don't resent them. Wear them like armor. Live them like breath. 5. One final meditation. Find stillness. Now, close your eyes. Imagine a day 5 years from now. The sun rises. You wake up rested. You don't reach for your phone. You reach for your compass. Your mind is not racing. Your space is not cluttered. Your calendar is not chaos. You are building, slowly, quietly, strategically. You're not fighting fires. You're planting forests. You're not chasing approval. You're giving value. You're not reacting. You are designing this life. It didn't happen by accident. It was built, one choice at a time, one system at a time, one aligned decision at a time, and now you carry it forward into every season, every transition, every uncertain year. You carry the blueprint, and you carry the courage to keep returning to it. Thank you if you've made it this far. You are not ordinary. You are not passive. You are one of the few, the thinkers, the builders, the internal architects. This video may end, but your system begins. Drop a comment below. What's the one system you will carry with you tomorrow? What's the next move for your designed life? Let this be the first public proof of your new trajectory. And if this resonated like the video, subscribe if you want more. But most of all, return to the work. Quietly, faithfully, strategically. Because they won't tell you this, but every winner you admire built their life on systems. Now, so will you. Dim the lights, breathe deep, and rest in the knowledge you are no longer playing checkers. You are playing the long game, and you're playing it with elegance. See you in the next. Sweet dreams.